Thank you very much, Catherine, and thank you uh, for the Maritime Research Center and Mr. Arnav especially for giving me an opportunity to join here. Only my apology, somehow I'm not that smart in the computer business, so I could not open my camera. That's the problem. But please excuse me on that aspect. And I would say that, thank you very much, Dr. Arnav, for actually selecting a topic which is so much dear and near to us, and wherein we are even failing to make our political masters understand that how much the fisheries alone can actually help us. Even our children these days, they don't like to eat fish. That's becoming a habit. They are more on the KFC and pizza than of fish. But if you look at the FAO figure, that any human being, healthy human being, must take 20 kilogram of fish in a year. And if that be the figure of 20 kilogram, right now, whatever the population we have, the world produces around 176 million to 180 million metric tons of fish today. And that's about 50-50. 47% it comes from the aquaculture and around 50% plus comes from the capture fisheries. But by the time, let's say within 10, 15 years time, when people will be increased to another 1.5 billion, where this additional requirement of fish can be met. So that's where our strategic planner must respond. That's a challenge to all the developing countries like us, because we don't have much of the big fishing trawlers. We have these artisanal fishers. As you know, that world's 80% artisanal fishers are in Asia. Asia means, I know, Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, all these countries. So we must have to have a sort of strict look or change our strategy from the land-based items to the sea-based mariculture or even aquaculture in this arena. Well, your topic is very, very, very pertinent, I would say, the digital fisheries. Now, the problem is digital transformation of fisheries, whatever we deal today, most of our fishermen, they don't have any idea about digital transformation. Even some of the trawlers in Bangladesh, as I know, even in Indonesia or even India, they also have very less idea about what is the digital transmission means, or how do they apply. So in that sense, I would say that Maritime Research Center have taken up a very good crusade to actually impart knowledge to our fishermen that, well, look, whatever you are doing, it's fine for the time being. But if you look at 10, 15 years, when the requirement of the fish will be much more than what we are consuming today, then we need to, change our course. Like, shrimp culture. We do shrimp culture. But look at Thailand, it has gone to Hanami. And then the production of Hanami is about 22,000 kg per hectare. Whereas the normal shrimp, if you look at, it is hardly 4 to 500 kilogram in per hectare. So there's this sort of difference we have even in the shrimp culture. Yes, digital transformation is very much required, because if we don't have data, then what you do? So in the digital transformation, you need Internet of Things and sensors, satellite, vessel monitoring, and even AI, then blockchain traceability system and digital data platforms, which we don't have many of them now. Some integrating data platforms, because we lack in the problem of fisheries database. We really do not have. Yes, in this area, maybe Indonesia and India, you have a lot of data, but look at us, like Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. We are also fish eating nation, but then we really don't have enough sound database on the various types of fish we have. Even in the Bay of Bengal, it says that 475 species of fish, we have. But then how many? What is the, allowable catch of this which is stock? What is the maximum yield, What is the maximum sustainable yield? None of our countries do calculate that what is the maximum sustainable yield of any particular type of fish, which we like and we do catch from the sea or from the others. Because if you look at the rivers inside the land, most of the fish we had 30 years, 40 years back, they are no more existing now. It really is unfortunate. So that's why I think what you have rightly said, that this analytical framework, that's a must. Unless we have this analytical framework, data analytics, AI models, predictive tools, and all those, then it is going to be very difficult for us to move in the right direction as it is coming. And it is not only the analytical framework, but we also need the multi-parameter habitat analytics in both normal fisheries as well as aquaculture. And these are the fundamental determinants of fish productivity, species distribution, and overall ecosystem health. And that is applicable equally both in fisheries and aquaculture, because environments, they dictate the fish growth, survival, migration, and the productive successes. So multi-parameter habitat analytics, I would say that that's a must for us. And is it also in the sustainable development growth? If you look at that, the target or goal 14, it talks about the underwater conservation of everything else in the thing. So if you want to make it sustainable has three requirements. That means first, you have to have ecology, and our ecology, I can tell you that that's not giving us a good sign. Ecology, whether in the rivers or whether in the marine waters, because of our ship recycling, because of our unplanned structure and everything else, whatever we're doing. So ecology is not that good, because most of the industries we have on land, they are actually polluting our sea. And there is no doubt in that. If you have carried out a little bit of research, and we can find out. If you look at in my young age, let's say in the 80s, I have a cancer patient, maybe out of 100,000 only one. But today, even in Bangladesh, we have cancer patient maybe 5 in 5,000. So that is not coming from the sky. That is not coming from any of the hidden source. That is coming from the all this pollution what we are doing. Many of us, we really do not know that it is not only the plastic bottle, but it is also, pardon me, all the ladies present here, that whatever makeup you use, the lipstick you use, they are also micro, zero point 0.5 millimicrometer plastics. And these plastics, when you use them, you wash them off in your home, they actually find their way to the sea through the rivers. And then they are so small, the fish thinks they are food and they eat it. And the plastics cannot be digested. And that's another problem. So the plastic pollution is actually killing us, and we need to also look after that in the multi-parameter habitat analytics without any doubt. And of course, in the sustainable and main important thing is the policy. Now, the policy is made by the government, but that policy, it needs to be actually implemented by the society. So if the society is not actually aware of what is happening, how do you make policy implementing? The policy may be however good it is, but if the society does not accept it, doesn't understand it, fishermen do not understand it, they do not try to implement it, I can tell you that those policies will sure to fail, because most of our cases in the policy, do we have the fisheries management, good regulation, or the blue economy? Even if we talk about blue economy, yes, in the blue economy also digital technology can help, whether it is blue or circular or blue growth, anything. But digital technologies to address the food waste and also the quality of the water, that's important. Whether it is dissolved oxygen, whether it is salinity, whether it is chlorophyll, whether it is temperature, whether it is nutrient levels. Many of us fail to understand that the fertilizer we are using in the land today, the additional fertilizer is not eaten by the crops, you know, or by the paddy fields. So additional fertilizer, when there is a flood, they find their way into the sea. So these additional fertilizer, if not used properly, they are producing algae, and algae are eating away the oxygen. And if there is no oxygen, you will not have fish. The fish will have to migrate to the areas where probably they will get a better condition to live and survive and reproduce. And that's the problem. What we are actually ignoring at our own peril. And those are the difficulties I find. Then even if we are make the policy and the governance, the idea is to make the sustainable blue growth. If that be the case, the productivity, sustainability will can ensure our food security, provided we do take care of the water quality, we do take care of the contribution of the digital transformation, all the thing, the remote sensing, the satellite-based data analysis, as I said, digital data platforms, all those things. Then in the ultimate end, the blue growth and the blue economy both will flourish. And because of that, I give you one example, that fish export, say Indonesia, they do about $12 billion per year. Thailand, they do about $7 billion. India, about $5 billion, whereas India should have been the first in this case. Bangladesh, we do only export fish worth of $450 million. 450, mind it, we have to feed our 170 million people as well. So this is an area where I would say the Maritime Research Center, I will compliment that they must put in more effort so that more research work are produced and shared with us, and we need to collaborate in this field. Because the liquid medium, the sea, you cannot divide. There is no border line. There is no border checkpost. There is no BGP or BDR or BSF in the sea. So that means fish and everything else, or whatever you spoil the ecology, they all migrate from one area to another area. So that's why we need to have collaboration, if not on the land, but there must be a cooperation and collaboration out at sea, so that we can come to some sort of understanding to ensure sustainable blue growth, keeping the sustainable maximum yield for the specific type of fish, as well as we announcing allowable catch of the fish. Let me also give you one example, like Hilsha. Now, Hilsha, we call it Jatka, less than 25 centimeter. So mother Hilsha catching is banned in October, November. And then from then on, about 7 months, up to 25 centimeter of fish, they are banned. You cannot catch them. But in real terms, who is going to see this? Navy is busy with that. Coast Guard are not equipped with that. Ministry of Fisheries do not have any fishing ship. So that means we are all relying on the God Almighty that to come and help us. That's not going to happen. It is we who must take initiative. People like Maritime Center and all others. We really don't have a counter organization in Bangladesh, because we are also busy with the land only. Whatever resources we have on the land, we are not yet looking into the blue economy or the blue growth for our sustainable insurance and the food security. Finally, I will appeal. One of the panelists has said that deep sea mining. I don't know how does deep sea mining comes into this digital transformation of fisheries in aquaculture. Deep sea mining is going to take place for polymetallic nodules, cobalt is crust, and others, and they are 5 to 6 kilometers below the water. You really don't find, other than the marine genetic resource, normal fish under 200 feet of water or 300 feet of water. So the deep sea mining, seabed mining is unconnected with that. I was the chair there, I know, and we also are trying to make rules and regulations and the convention for deep sea mining for the last 4 or 5 years, but it is not progressing, because most of the time these meetings are actually sorry, Ambassador Mudgal is here. They are represented by our, not by India, but most of our countries are by the diplomats. The diplomats, they don't study fisheries or marine biology or oceanography, so they don't have much of the ideas. So that's why in the International Seabed Authority, we are stuck for the last 4 years to say what sort of deep sea mining should be allowed even for countries. And that's why the America is taking an opportunity. America has a different mining rules, and they are not part of the law of the sea convention. So people are going to American system to capture this deep seabed mining. So that's the another part of the way I would say. But let me finish up. I think no, I have used up my time. That if we really want to have the sustainable blue growth, then there is no option rather than to make good policy, but good policy for good management and good implementation. You can make a policy, but if it is not implemented, then whatever you call it, ocean economy, blue economy, or circular economy, is not going to support. But for the teeming millions of our country, even for India and for Bangladesh or India and Indonesia and other countries, we need to put a lot of our stress on increasing the fish output for not only for the health of our people, that is 20 kilogram per man, but also for the health of our economy by exporting or earning dollars from abroad. I will stop here. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, Mudgal sir. Sorry, to talk to before you. We know each other also or not, but thank you all very much. You have contributed. It's very sort of learning session. Thank you. All the best.